Bend as it is here in Eden. Little Bend says it's 7 o'clock on the East Coast. Good morning, everyone. This is Dick, WB2JPQ. I'll be doing at least part, if not all, of the morning brew today. We're a little disorganized. Vicky's off to a late start. Al had a commitment, so I'm kind of here by myself for a minute, but we're picking up the slack. This is that number. What is it here? 1008. 1008 on July 16th, 2025. Couple of announcements. Tonight, open mic night. Open mic night at 8 o'clock. That's our new net here that we started maybe 10 weeks ago, and it seems to be taking off very well. And tomorrow night is another program in our Zoom room that is getting good reviews. Ask an Elmer, be an Elmer. Place to come in and ask a question in a nice setting. And if you don't have a question, you can certainly listen to other people's questions and answers. Charles is usually there from the antenna farm, and we always have some good discussion. So 8 o'clock tomorrow night, come join us in the East Coast Reflector Zoom room for Ask an Elmer, be an Elmer. Good morning to Vicky, KPKY. She just appeared here in my window on Zoom. Mark is here as well. Let's take some mobiles. I've got a bunch of text check-ins logged in, but let's take some mobile stations. We're going to try something here today if we can get our act together. We're going to try about 5 mobiles, 5 radio, 5 text. Give everybody a little better of a chance. Yesterday, or not necessarily so much yesterday, but some days it's so late before we get a radio check-in. So we're going to try it, see how it works. Try to take 4 or 5 mobiles, 4 or 5 radio, 4 or 5 text. See if that works. We can keep straight here this morning. Good morning to Vicky. Let's take some mobile check-in. Call signs twice. Once again, this is Dick, WB2JPQ.
Good morning, this is Kilo Zulu 4 Juliet November. Kilo Zulu 4 Juliet November Mobile.
Kilo Charlie 5 Charlie Zulu X-ray KC5CZX.
Mobiles are a little flooding this morning. Good morning to Daryl, KC5CZX. Good morning to Andrews in Gainesville, Florida, KZ4JN. Oh, I guess I ought to tell everybody what our question is this morning. Kind of a simple one. I know there is no yes or no question on the morning brew, but the question is, have you ever called 911? Have you ever called 911? That's our question for today. KZ4JN, good morning. Why don't you start us off here this morning?
Good morning, Dick. Good morning, Vicky, and everyone else on the crew. I have had to call it, so I will be a yes, and I've also had it called on my behalf. So I hope everyone has a great day, and everyone finds a good reason to have to dial that number. I'll send it back to you, Dick. This is KZ4JN.
All right, we start you off with a yes. Yes, let's hope you never need it, but it's certainly there, and if you do. Good morning to Daryl. I take it you're probably on your way home, Daryl.
Good morning, Dick, and the rest of the brew crew, KC5CZX. No, actually, I'm off today. I'm just out rolling around in the morning taking care of my business before I have to go to work today. So, and no, I have never had to call 911 in any case. KC5CZX, back to you.
It's a no for Daryl. Any other mobiles? Any other mobile stations?
BJJ Mobile.
Victor Lima Kilo Mobile. Got John from Mesa, Arizona. Jeff from Lancaster, who's probably up at Chautauqua Lake. And Jason from Hanover, Pennsylvania. Good morning, Jason. KD3BJJ, good morning to you. Have you ever had to call 911?
Yes, I've actually had to call 911 twice in my life. Four other people never had it called for me. But yes, you have to have dialed that service twice in my lifetime. KD3BJJ, back to that.
Yes, for Jason. How about Jeff in Lancaster, New York? Good morning, Jeff.
And everybody else on the brew, beautiful morning. I hope everybody has a good day. To answer your question, yes, I have several times. Not for myself, fortunately, but the answer to that question is yes. And with that, I'll say 7-3, and I'll be here listening. And to VLK Mobile.
Yes, you have a nice day today. Good morning to John in Mesa, Arizona. KM7BIO. Early out there this morning, John.
Hey, good morning to everybody out there on the crew. It's early here. That's the only time we can enjoy being outside. So we'll open up at 100 by 9:30. But that brings me to why I've had to call 911 more times than I'd like. Working out here in Arizona. But I just hope nobody here has to call out. Have it called on them. I wish everybody a good day and go to sleep.
All right, John, somehow Vicky heard a yes out of that. Your audio is just about non-existent. I don't know whether you got your hand over the microphone or just what, but your audio is super, super low. Let's take about 5 radio check-ins. 5 radio check-ins. Anybody anywhere?
Charlie 3, Foxtrot Golf Delta. Kilo, Charlie 3, Foxtrot Golf Delta. Kilo Quebec 4, Alpha Yankee Hotel. Kilo Quebec 4, Alpha Yankee Hotel. Gary, Fort Lauderdale. Kilo Quebec 4, Oscar Romeo Kilo. KQ4, ORK in the mobile.
Kilo Juliet 5, India Charlie Golf, KJ5, ICG Mobile.
All right, we got KJ5 ICG, and just before Gordon, there was a station and all that. I just caught your the last letter. The station that called in before Gordon. Your call sign, please.
Bravo Lima Tango. Bravo Lima Tango.
Good morning, David. I owe you an apology from last night. I saw the BLT up there, and I thought it was Scott. By the time I got around to calling on you last night, you had already left. So, you too. Your audio is super low, David, but that's not an excuse for missing you last night on the TechNet. We got you, David, W8BLT. We got Gordon, KJ5ICG. We got Barry in Apopka, Florida, KQ4ORK. We got Gary in Fort Lauderdale. And Ray in Elizabethtown is going to start this round out, KC3FGD. Good morning, Ray. And Have you ever had to call 911?
Hey, good morning, Dick, and everyone on the brew here. No, I have never had to call, thankfully. And, hey, just getting ready to head out to breakfast with the SWL. That's why I'm signing in early. Everyone have a wonderful day. Back to Dick at Dead Control.
No, it is. Let's go to Gary in Fort Lauderdale. Good morning.
Coffee brew or morning brew? Yes, I've had to call it for myself and for others to help others. So yes, I have. KQ4AYH, back to net control.
Yes, for Gary. How about Barry in Apopka, Florida? KQ4ORK. Good morning, Barry.
Good morning to everybody on the brew crew. Yes, I've called 911 multiple times with good outcomes, bad outcomes, but every single time they responded quickly and professionally. Back to net control, 73 KQ4ORK in the mobile.
Well, thank you, Barry. Have a nice day in Apopka. I wish I was down there this morning just to maybe be in Florida, though. It's terrible hot. It's been hot here. We had 80 or 91 yesterday. So it's been Florida weather up here as well. I've been kidding Joe ever since he's been here. Ever since he came up for the meet and greet in June, it's been unseasonably warm. And I told him he brought the warm weather up. Good morning to Gordon, Richmond, Texas, KJ5ICG.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, I have called 911 for a family member and also for car crashes I've seen on the highway. KJ5ICG.
Yes, it is. Let's go to David in Texas. That's all it says. David in Texas. That's all that comes up on my no city. David, good morning. W8BLT. I only heard one word out of that, David, and that was the word control. You were in and out, and I see you're on Brandmeister. Don't know if that's how you originally called it or not, but we're going to leave you blank. I'm going to go up and work a couple of text check-ins. I'm going to go up to Roy in Blaisdell, New York, KE8BYU. Good morning, Roy.
Good morning, Dick, Dickie, everybody on the brew. KA8BYU. Yeah, I've had to call both EMS and PD through the 911 system several times. And I'm sitting here enjoying a cup of tea in the 1000th net mug, which I received yesterday. Again, thank you very much. Do appreciate it. Back to you.
Right, Roy. I don't remember I know the reason you got it, but I don't remember the numbers. I know you were way up on the top of the morning brew check-ins. You had only missed a few morning brew nets, but we decided that we should do something for you. So there you go. It's not much, but we don't have a lot of money. We run here on a shoestring, and we try to do what we can. Good morning to Wayne, KC2NJV.
Morning, Dick and Vicky. Have a hopefully had a nice morning, KC2NJV. I have called 911 for others. I have responded when people have called 911. I used to be a New York City medic. And I've had 911 called
like you have all bases covered, Wade. Good morning to Keith. W9QJQ.
Good morning, and good morning, and everybody on the Brew Crew. Yeah, I've called 911, and being a firefighter, I respond to a lot of 911 calls. So, yeah, I got those two bases called. Never had 911 calls for myself, but I have the two covered. So, yep, that's a big yes for me on both ends. All right, everybody have a good morning.
Oh, yeses. More yeses than I thought here already this morning. Let's go up across the canal here, across the lake, VA3GLJ. Good morning.
Morning, Dick, and good morning to the Brew Crew. Currently 61 degrees Fahrenheit up here in Geneva Lake. Answer to your question is no, and actually in our area, I guess because of it, we don't even have 911 service. Everybody have a great day. VA3GLJ back to net.
Oh, okay. Guess I didn't think about that. Have a good day, Greg. Let's go to Paul, KQ9KX. Good morning, Paul.
Well, good morning, everyone. My answer is yes, but it's always been through my volunteer fire department issued radio directly to dispatch. Have a good morning. KQ9KX.
Another yes. Let me take one more text check in, then we'll go see if I have any mobiles. Go to Ray in Beaver, Pennsylvania, N3QDQ.
Yeah, good morning, Dick, Vicky, and everybody else in there on the Morning Brew. Well, I've never called 911, although I had a job where I had to call first responders quite often, but I generally use the in-house lines to do it. Back to net. This is N3DQD.
Another yes, I guess. Do I have any other mobiles? Only had a couple mobiles this morning. Do I have any other mobiles at 18 past the hour? This is Dick, WB2JPQ. Mobile stations only.
W5DBS. W5DBS.
QPOB, Kilo Bravo 2, Papa Oscar Bravo Mobile.
Juliet 5, India Whiskey Papa. KJ5, India Whiskey Papa. Mobile.
Good morning to you, Steve. All my mobiles are coming out late here this morning. We got you, Steve. We got Patrick, and we got David in Houston, Texas, is going to be up here, W5DBS. Good morning, David. Have you ever had to dial 911?
Thankfully, no, I have not had to dial 911. And don't look forward to ever having that experience, although we can certainly do it. We have a very, very good system in Houston, Texas. Appreciate the Brew Crew every single morning. This is W5DBS. Back to the net.
Well, thank you, David. Some mornings we're a little dysfunctional, but somehow we all seem to pull it together. Patrick, good morning. KB2POB.
Morning, everyone. I have had to call 911 before. It wasn't fun, but that's what it's for. So put me down as yes, KB2, POB, back to net.
Yes. How about Steve? KJ5IWP.
Good morning, Dick, Vicky, and everybody out there on the crew. Nice 75 degrees here this morning in Central Texas. Question of the day, the answer would be yes. I have called, been called on, and been called about. Pretty much covered them all. Appreciate what you guys do. Thank you very much. KJ5IWP.
It is. All right, let me take a few 5-6 radio check-ins. Anybody anywhere? This is Dick, WB2JPQ, along with Vicky, K8VKY. And this is the Morning Brew.
This is KB5 Bravo 5 Bravo Sierra.
Kilo 4 Delta India Yankee. Kilo 4 Delta India Yankee.
Alpha Victor.
AJ5JOM, Kilo Juliet 5, Juliet Oscar Mike, Bob in North Texas, in and out.
All right, good morning to you, Bob, in North Texas. I didn't know that, but you told me you were in North Texas. KJ5JOM got you in and out. Good morning to Vern. Good morning to Mike, KC3LAV, and our friend Tim in Windsor. Good morning, Tim. VE3TGN. Have you ever had to call 911?
No, I'd never had to call 911, but I used Channel 9 an 11-meter band. We were coming back from Sawville Beach on Sada Region on Highway 21. There was a head-on crash. I pulled up right behind it, and definitely called on Channel 9 there. And I was 4 hours helping the OPP enter provincial police for traffic. And a young lady was killed, and the other people were from Washington State or United States. That's the only time I ever had to make a call on the radio on the 11-meter there, Channel 9. Back to you there, B3TG in Windsor, Ontario.
Tim, Vicky's got you down for a no. How about you, Mike? KC3LAV.
And good morning, Dick and Vicky and everyone on the crew. This is KC3LAV, Mike, Warwick Township, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. At the bottom of the hill, beautiful day here in Lancaster County. Negative to your question, fortunately, I'm happy to say, but I know it's there and it's a wonderful service. Have an exceptional day, everyone. KC3LAV, back to net. Thank you.
And it's a no for Mike. Good morning, Vern, VA3CRF.
Good morning, Dick and Vicky and everybody on the net. Thanks for picking me up out for a walk. It's already 70 degrees. It's going to be a warm one again, and I think the heat's finally going to break tomorrow or Friday. Looking forward to that. Dick, I have called 911. It was actually for our granddaughter on one occasion. That was kind of scary. And then I monitored the ambulance's progress to the local children's hospital on one of my scanners. Total respect to our first responders. And it's also worth noting, Dick, that if you travel, you want to make sure that you know what the equivalent is of 911 in different countries, because they don't do that in Europe and other places. So folks, when you travel, check and make sure you know what the local 911 number is. Hope everyone has a good day. Thanks for doing it, Dick. VA3CRF.
Well, it's certainly a good point, Vern. I guess I didn't think about that. Let's go up to Jimmy. KD9YUZ. Good morning, Jimmy. And have you ever had to call 911? This is Dick, WB2JPQ.
Good morning, Dick and Vicky and everybody listening to the brew out there. Yes, I've had to call for someone else twice, and luckily it's never had to be called for me yet. But it is very comforting to know that it's there, especially when you live in a rural area like I do. Have a great day, everybody. KD9YUZ, back to net.
Just curious, Jimmy, how long would it take an ambulance or a first responder to get to you?
Roughly about 20 minutes.
That'd be a question, huh? Think you would, well, maybe some of these guys in VK3 land might top that. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for being here every day. Good morning to Gil in Orlando, K4GDS.
Good morning, Dick, Vicky, and everyone on the brew. Working in telecommunications and supporting a 911 comm center, I've called it dozens of times for testing purposes. But just recently, I actually had to call it for a car accident for real. So put me down for a yes either way. K4GDS, back to net.
Yes, it is for you. Good morning again to Mark, KE2EDS.
Good morning, Dick. Good morning, Vicky, and the rest of the crew. As far as an answer to the question, it is a yes. And it's a few times I was on the road for many years and witnessing automobile accidents. Have a great day, KE2EDS.
Thank you, Mark. And Mark will be up tonight with his group for open mic night at 8 o'clock, so come join his team. Him and Jason doing a great job getting the open mic night organized and ready to play here at 8 o'clock every Wednesday night. We appreciate their efforts. Good morning to Michael, KE2EIO.
Good morning, Dick. Good morning, Vicky. Yes, I've called about 3 or 4 times in the past. KE2EIO, 73 everybody, and back to net. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Good morning to Norm, NY1US, South Wales, New York.
Yeah, morning, Dick and Vicky and everybody on the brew crew today. I unfortunately had a call for myself last week, but that was interesting. Stayed in the hospital till about 3 in the morning in the emergency. So anyway, so yes is my answer. Take care. Have a good day.
Certainly nice to know it's there, Norm, when you need it. That's for sure. Morning to Bob, Ecorse, Michigan, KQAU.
Morning, Dick, Vicky, and the rest of the crew. Yes, I've had a call numerous times over the years. Like when I was working, I had a call at EMS on myself one time. Everybody have a great day. KQAU, back to net.
Bob, let me get a couple more of these text check-ins before I start losing people here. They'll be off to work. Morning, Joe. AM4WZD.
Good morning, Dick. Good morning to Vicki. Good morning to the crew. Yes, I have called several times. Most recent call was I had to report a fire that someone had set next to the road for some reason. Can't figure people out sometimes. Anyhow, everybody have a great Wednesday. 7-3, it's KM4WZD. Back to net. Take care.
Have a nice day, Joe. How about Chuck, Newcastle, Pennsylvania? Good morning, Chuck.
Morning, Dick, Vicki, and everybody on the brew. Put me down for no there, Dick. Thanks for doing the net. And back to you. Have a great day. W3 CVE.
Got you down for no. Next up is Nick in Toledo, Ohio. Tell me, Nick, how's that new anniversary cup working out for you?
Mug's still looking good. I have to call 911 a few times for my security job and traffic and stuff like that. I've also had somebody call 911 while I was working on somebody and keeping them medically safe. W8NJT, back in net control.
Yes, for you. How about Mike, Grosse Pointe Park, Michigan, N8HLN.
Vicki and the crew. We're in from northern Michigan. We're at 65 degrees and sunny. Answer to the question is yes. I did have to call it once before for myself for a minor traffic incident. So, 73 to the group from N8HLN. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Let's take some radio check-ins, Vicki, if your fingers feel like walking or whatever they do. Radio check-ins. Anybody, anywhere? All the way down the line 56 we go.
This is
K7GY. KK7GY.
Kilowatt Bravo 5, Bravo Sierra Mobile. KB5BS Mobile.
7 OMH. Kilo Delta 2 November Lima Mobile. KE2NL Mobile. KO4 TNL. Kilo Oscar 4 Tango November Lima. Kilo 4 Delta India Yankee. Kilo 4 Delta India Yankee. Kilo 2 Tango Victor. Kilo 2 Tango Victor.
Right, good morning to Eugene in Homosassa, Florida, KK4DIY. Our friend Bob in Fairfax, KD2NL. Chip, get to you in a minute. Your mobile. We got Mike, W7OMH. We got Bill in Hockley, Texas, and your mobile. So, Bill, we got Clark in there as well. From Phoenix, the KK7DY. I'll get to you in a minute, Clark. But let me go to Bill in Hockley, your mobile. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. I'm actually down by the IAH airport in Houston this morning. Dropped my wife off for a flight. And an interesting conversation and question for today. I've done multiple 911 calls for my family and myself and things, but the best one I think
goes way back into the 70s. I was traveling from Oklahoma City down to San Antonio one year, and I was in the Arbuckle Mountains, in the southern part of Oklahoma, and I hear a mayday on HF. This is back in the days when I could have a TS-520. For any of the new people out there, that's a pretty large size radio. When I ran it mobile, it would run both mobile or AC, or DC or AC, and I did not have it cross-banded to VHF, so I picked up the mayday, found out what it was. It was a man and his family were stranded on the highway between Canada and Alaska in a snowdrift. It was a blizzard, and they were running out of gas, and they were stuck. So I put a local call in using my homemade auto patch. The old timers, we used to take the touch tones or dial tones out of phones, put them into a box, and interface them to the VHF. I had that in my car, and I dialed them up, told them what the situation is, and see if they could get a hold of the Canadian police. They did. I had to use the 2 microphones and carried on conversations for about 15 minutes, get their exact location, and got them taken care of, and thought I did my part for the day. This is KB5DS.
Bill, yes was what we were looking for. Good morning to Mike, W70MH. Sorry, Mike, if that was you, W70MH, you're all noise. Let me go pick up Chip, which I should have gone to first here. He's mobile. Let me come back to you, Mike, and see. Good morning, Chip. KD2NL.
Good morning, Dick, Vicky, and the rest of the crew. Unfortunately, I have not had to call 911. So I'll say 73, y'all have a good day, and back to net. KD2NL Mobile.
No for you. Good morning, Bob. Fairfax, Virginia, K2TV.
Good morning, Dick. Good morning to Vicky on the logging computer and the rest of the brew crew. Anyway, yes, I have, and I have to say my hat's off to the people who are on the other end of the 911 calls, because they deal with all kinds of panicking people and excited people, and they get the right information out of them, and that's very important. So, anyway, everyone have a great... This is K2TV.
Bob, my apologies. I was talking to Vicky and Zoom on something, and I missed your answer.
Well, the answer is yes. And the answer is yes, and I said my hat's off to the people who are on the other end of 911, taking all the information down. Not an easy job. A lot of excited people, panicking people, and I get all the right and correct information from those people to get you the emergency responders to the right place. Anyway, everyone have a good one. This is K2TV, and my answer is yes.
Bob. Eugene, Homosassa, Florida, KK4DIY.
Good morning, and hope everybody is doing well this morning. KK4DIY, Gene in Homosassa. I have had to call 911 many times, and I have never been disappointed. They have always, no matter where I've lived, they've always responded very quickly, very professionally, and taken care of business. So I appreciate them 100%. KK4 DIY.
Yes, it is from Homosassa. Thank you, Gene. Let's see if Mike is back with us. W7OMH. Mike, are you in a better spot? Can we get your answer? Been heard, Vicky. I guess we'll mark him one and done. How about Clark in Phoenix, Arizona? KK7DY.
Good morning, Dick, Vicky, and the rest of the brew crew. Yes, I have had to use 911 for traffic accidents, once using an auto patch. Back to net control, KK7DY.
Good old auto patch days. Remember them well. Let's go to pick up a few of our text check-ins. Good morning to Bernie, AA8WA. And this is Dick, WB2JPQ, 42 past the hour.
Good morning, Dick and Vicky and all the rest of the brew crew. Yes, I have made a 911 call. Wife was having a medical emergency, and I worked as a police dispatcher for a while, and so I've been on the receiving end of 911 calls too. So yeah, I've had my experience with them. So I'll turn it back to you and wish everyone 7-3. AA8WI.
You down for yes? Next up, Sun City, Florida. Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Jack. Vicky and everybody on the net from Bernie out here in City, Tampa Bay. Currently 79 this morning. Expect a little rain this afternoon, so that hopefully will cool things off later today. Response to the question, Dick, the answer is yes. But I have to follow that up with it was accidental. Wife and I were riding along one time, and my wife's phone slipped out of her purse, bounced off the road up into the grass, and the phone automatically called 911. It took us a while to find it, and lo and behold, when it came, we had to tell them that it was accidental. So, yes, we did, and it works. And anyway, thanks for what you do. W2JPQ, NA2B, back to that. Probably was hard to explain. Good morning, Adam. W9AFK.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. The answer to the question is yes. I have in the past had to call 911. There was a gentleman earlier mentioned something about European, and I believe it's, instead of 911, I believe it's 112 in Europe. Back to you, Net, W9AFK.
Thank you, Adam. This is Vicky, K8VKY, and next up, Rick, N5GI.
Good morning, Vicky, Bill, and everyone on the brew crew this morning. And to answer the question, no, not in recent memory. If I've ever called 911, it's been a long, long time ago, and I don't remember it. So there you have it. Everybody have a wonderful week. Good Wednesday, and back to net control. Back to you, Vicky.
Thank you, Rick. Next up, N8ZFH, Gary.
morning, Vicky and Brew Crew. And the answer is yes. And that was just a few months ago. Coming home from dinner, we saw a person laying in the middle of the street with their leg over a bicycle, and they appeared to be unconscious. Please check me in and out. I'll continue to listen at 8ZFH. Back to Net.
Thank you, Gary. KD3AJN, Anna.
Good morning, Vicki and the crew in there this morning. Yes, I have had to call 911 too many times, more than I wanted to, but they're there and sometimes you need them. KD3AJN.
Thanks for stopping by. Next up, Mark, N0CKB. Have you ever had to call 911?
Hello, Vicky, Dick, Brew Crew. Yes, I've had to call 911 in the past. And 0CKV back to Net.
Thank you. We got a few more text check-ins, and then we'll take some more general check-ins. KO4TNL, Scott, you're up next.
Yep, I'm still here. I don't know if the bad reception is your end or my end, but I'm about 5 miles from the repeater, so I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, I have. It's actually a great story. I was sitting at a light. It was red, and out of my peripheral vision, I saw a lady fall over. First, I thought she was hit by a car. Then I realized she was the crossing guard for the school. It was probably 2020. It was probably July. It was probably close to 100 degrees, and I assumed that she was overtaken by heat exhaustion. So I jumped out of the vehicle, left it in the middle of the road because there was nowhere to park where she was at, went over, gave her some aid, got her to her feet, asked if the car nearby was hers. She said yes. I got her over there, cranked it up, got some air conditioning going. She had a bottle of water. She was starting to come around and acting pretty good, and then boom, she dropped out again. And I'm like, oh dear, this lady needs more than just some water. That's when I called 911. I stayed with her until the paramedics showed up, and they gave her IVs, and of course I moved my van out of the way and drove on home. And then I was a Facebook sensation. But anyways, that was my story for 911. I got many more, but we don't have all day. So anyways, KO4TNL, helping crossing guards stay in business. Y'all have a great day.
You did well, but be careful. Today's Facebook sensation, one typo and you're tomorrow's Facebook enemy. Next up, Dave, VK3DMJ. No, you probably aren't calling 911. But what about Australia's version?
VK3 Delta Mike Juliet. Good morning and good evening to you, Vicky, and everyone on the crew and on the morning brew. It's been great being a part of your net the last couple of days. Whereas the beautiful 48 degrees down here in Australia. No, we certainly have not called 911, but have called the Australian equivalent of 000. Unfortunately, several times. I think one of the stations was saying earlier, it's good to know what the emergency numbers are wherever it is that you go. We're in a very high fire risk zone where I'm currently located. And so the fire department and ambulance are usually the ones we have to call down here, especially over summer. And I think, as Dick mentioned earlier, over in VK3, accessibility can be quite difficult. So a lot of locations are by helicopter or fixed-wing aircraft to get into. So we certainly appreciate our emergency services down here. I'll hand it back to you, Vicky, from VK3, Delta Mike Juliet.
Thanks, Dave. This is Dick, WB2JPQ. Vicky took a quick phone call. 000, huh? Triple zero, I guess you said. That's interesting. Morning to James in Spring, Texas, AA5JW.
Well, good morning, Dick and Vicky. Thank you all for running the net today, and good morning, everybody else out there on the Brew Crew. This is Alpha 5 Juliet Whiskey Mobile. James in Spring Moblin to Houston for work today. It's going to be a hot day today, but I think we're supposed to get rain over the weekend, so we'll see what happens. To the question at hand, yes, I have had to call 911. There was a young man passed out behind the steering wheel of his vehicle at an intersection. And we had to call the police department and the fire department. They came out and got him out of the car. And on a side note, now I carry Narcan with me at all times just in case I run into that situation again because the young man was overdosing. So I carry that stuff with me in my first aid kit and hope to God I never have to use it. With that, I'll say 7-3, hand it back to Ned. Everybody have a blessed day and stay safe out there. This is Alpha 5 Juliet Whiskey Mobile. We'll be monitored.
Thank you, James, and it's a yes for you. Good morning, Don. K4PPX.
And a brew crew this morning. We'll be down April the 5th. Today I had my stroke. Back to you, great day, W4PPX.
We'll get you down for a yes, Don. It wasn't a good day, was it? Next up, Mike. K6AAN. Valley Springs, California. Good morning.
And good morning to everybody on the Brew Crew. Yeah, that's affirmative. I've had to call 911 a few times. And I used to be in the business of responding to those calls for a lot of years. Had many experiences. Anyway, everyone have a great day out there. Back to net control. This is K6AAN.
Thanks, Don. Or Mike, rather. A lot more yeses than I thought here this morning, but we're all still here to talk about it, so it's all good. Good morning, Jeff, Rochester Hills, Michigan, KE8SMN.
Good morning, Dick and Vicky, everyone on the brew. This is KE8SMN. I'll change it up here. Put me down for a no. KE8SMN. Back to net.
Great. Thanks, Jeff. Evening up the playing field here. I think we got to do a little bit more evening up. Morning to Andy, Cheektowaga, New York, W2AJR.
Good morning, Dick. Morning, everybody on the Brew Crew. Yep, I've had to call 911 a couple of times. Rest of the day is work, and then we're going to play some radio tonight, hopefully. 7-3, all have a great day. Thank you, Dick.
Thanks, Andy. Good to talk to you. Hobbs, New Mexico, KI5PMI.
Good morning, Dick. Everybody on the brew. Yes, I've had to call them several times. Rest of the day, just some work. Hope everybody has a great KI5PMI. Back to net.
There we go. Somebody wanted to get disconnected. Let's take some new stations. Let me see if I have any mobiles. That might make it a little easier. Bill's in for Vicky. She had to step away for a minute, so go easy on us here. We have the second string in here this morning, but Bill is very proficient at logging. Let's take some mobile stations at 7:55 here on the East Coast. Mobiles only.
Kilo 9 Delta Quebec mobile. Kilo 9 Delta Quebec mobile.
in and out.
Was that K2 FFA? It's not coming up on QRs. Could you give us that twice, please?
Kilo 2, Foxtrot, Alpha, Alpha, K2, FAA.
What a difference it makes, Rich, when you get the right letters in there. You want to hang on a minute? I'll get right back, or get right to you. Let me go to Al. Clarkston, Michigan. K9DQ. Good morning, Al. And our question today is, have you ever hit the dial 911? And this is Dick, WB2JPQ.
Good morning, Dick. Good morning, everybody on Brew Crew this morning. The short answer is yes, multiple times. Most of it is to assist people that are in the ditch or something when with snow and severe weather. But the most interesting one that I had was in New York on the interstate when I had to call 911 because the car next to me, the driver was falling asleep. That was interesting. Back to you, Net Control 73 to everybody, and have a good morning.
And we got you down for a yes, Al. Rich, if you can stick in there for a minute. K2FAA, good morning to you.
And everyone on the brew. And the answer for me is yes, multiple times. And back to Net. Thank you.
Question was, did you ever call 911? And the answer is yes. We had a parishioner who got sick in the back of church, fell, and hit her head against the concrete. Not a nice scene. Unfortunately, the fire company, after being told to not go to the school, go to the parish, still went to the school. We had to send another usher over to get him out of there. If that was the answer to the question, that's good. The other side of the coin is, do you carry Narcan? The answer is yes, absolutely. I just got my new dose in here. The seniors take primarily on buses. Some of them are some pretty strong meds, and some tend to forget whether or not they've taken the meds. So as a result, just to be safe, I carry that. WA2W, WK.
Thanks, Ron. And yes, our question today is, have you ever dialed 911? Let's take some new stations. New stations, anybody, anywhere? Twice and slowly, please. This is Dick, WB2JPQ, along with Bill, N2BH.
N5GRT, N5GRT, in and out.
Whiskey 9 Hotel India Foxtrot. Whiskey 9 Hotel India Foxtrot. In and out.
4CKC, KR4CKC.
K4NHV.
Kilo Juliet 5, Delta X-Ray Bravo. Kilo Juliet 5, Delta X-Ray Bravo.
KE2,
November 2, yes, Kilo.
In and out.
November 2, India Sierra Kilo.
W1 NIG Whiskey 1 November India Golf in and out. Let me grab it here for a minute, guys and gals, if you would, please. We got Neil, W1 NIG in and out. Morning to you, Bob, and N2 ISK. Just before Bob, there was a KE2. The KE2 station twice, please.
KE2 GAT. KE2 Golf Alpha Tango.
Got you, Walter. Morning to Frank, KJ5DXB. Got Nick in Sebring, Florida, KR4CKC. We got Leland, W9HIF was in and out, along with Kurt. And 5DRT also was in and out. Guess we're going to go right to you, Bill. Good morning, KR4CKC. Once again, a question, have you ever dialed 911?
Hey, good morning to everybody on the brew. Yeah, I had to do it 3 times. Once for a house fire, once for I came across an individual on a country road, slumped over the steering wheel in his car, unconscious. And the most, frightening one on calling 911, my wife was in serious distress, and we needed to get her to the hospital and get EMT on the site as soon as we could. So there's mine, KR4.
Thank you, Bill. Let's move on to Nick in Sebring, Florida. K4HV.
Well, good morning, Dick, and everybody on the net. Nope, I have never had to call 911. Thanks for that. K4NHV, have a great day.
Well, that's a no in the column that we want to hear. How about Frank in Sugar Land, Texas, KJ5DXB?
KJ5DXB, good morning to you, Dick, and everybody out there. I would be a no also. Thanks for the check-in. Everybody have a great day. KJ5DXB, back to you, Dick.
Another no. Hey, all good things come in threes. How about you, Walter? Going to be a tiebreaker here, Lindenbrook, New York, KE2GAT.
I have to wish you your wish, give you your wish. I have never called 911. So I'll be back to you.
We're on a roll, Bill. Let's see what Bob can do for us. Woodbridge, New Jersey, N2 ISK. Good morning.
Good morning, Dick and crew. I've had to call 3 or 4 times. MTS. I did the old fall and then I can't get up trick a couple of times. So, yeah, they came and scraped me out and put me back on that. I did it a long time ago before I had a license. Listening on an event, the largest waterfall in New Jersey. Someone decided to try to climb up the side of it and fell, had serious injuries. And a hand was there, fortunately. He called for help. Someone in Ohio heard him and sent the New Jersey State Police to send a helicopter. So, everybody was good. And yeah, I think in UK the emergency number is 999. There you go. Everybody have a good day. N2 ISK.
RB, a good morning brew question too, or a TACnet question. Have you ever used ham radio for an emergency? Let's go to Tim in Windsor, Ontario, VE3TCS.
That was pretty quick. No, I've not had to call 911 either with the phone, a landline, or radio. Fortunately. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Take care. Be blessed. 3TCS back to net.
All right, Tim. We're on to the second hour here, Bill. I didn't even realize it. Good morning again, everybody. This is Dick, WB2JPQ, along with Bill, N2BH. Ricky had to step away for a few minutes this morning. New stations, anybody, anywhere. Call signs twice and slowly.
This is N9 BBM. N9 BBM. Nathan, Chicago.
IWN, KD2 IWN. Whiskey Bravo 5 India Tango Tango, WB5ITT.
T1 NYS, 4 Golf 1, November Yankee Sierra.
KF8 DJ
November
Kilo Foxtrot 8
Romeo
Delta Juliet Quebec.
Foxtrot. That's N8RWS. In and out. In and out.
A2 Delta Yankee, Victor Kilo 2 Delta Yankee.
VK2DY. We'll get you in the Robert VK2DY. And we got Bill, W8RWF. Bill was in and out. We got Kevin in Bowling Green. Magic Cable Man. And just before Bill, it was a 4G1Y. And we both missed the 4G1Y station twice, please.
For Golf 1, November Yankee Sierra, 4G NYS.
We'll get to know that, Stephen. NYS, we got it now. We got you, Chris, and you're probably Mobile. I would assume we're going to give you a check mark for Mobile. We got Tim in Hamburg, and we got Nate in Chicago. Let me go to Chris. I assume Chris is probably Mobile, WB5ITT. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, sir, and to everybody on the Morning Brew. No, I'm actually at the house, haven't left yet, but I've called 911 several times. Of course, used to help maintain the local 911 system, and one story, I'll make it quick. Many years ago up in Conroe, Texas, working for the power company, we were trying to get the Roam PBX system to dial just 911 instead of having to dial 9911. And while we were testing, one of the guys accidentally hung up before the call got completed. And the local 911 folks got the call and immediately sent about 5 officers over, and they were roaming around the outside of the building. When the dispatcher saw them on the camera and we had to walk out and explain to them what was going on, they were not happy. Anyhow, we finally got it fixed. Oh, that was a long night. Anyhow, hope everybody's having a good morning. WB5ITT, back to net.
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of stories. Let's go to Nate, Chicago, Illinois, at 9 BBM.
Morning, everyone. Yes, I've called 911 before. We had an intruder at one of the TV stations I worked at.
on the building property. So that's when we were co-located with a 1,000-foot stick and a bunch of guy wires and a guy anchor point. So yeah, not fun. Anyway, hope everyone has a great day, and don't work too hard if you're working. Back to that control at 9 p.m.
Thank you, Nate. Good morning to Tim. KD2WIN. I'm assuming in Gowanda, New York. Good morning.
Good morning, Dick and Vicky and everybody at the Brew Crew. This is KD2IWN. Okay. Yeah, students in Wanda, New York this morning. Sweltering already, but I'm inside. So I'm not sweltering. Yes, I had to call 911 just once. And that's enough. Everybody have a great day. 73, KD2IWN.
Once it is. Good morning or good afternoon. What is it there in the Philippines, Stephen? 4G1NYS.
Good evening from here. It is now 12 past 8 in the evening here. For my answer to your question, no. I don't use our counterpart here. We also use 911 as an emergency number, replacing 117. But I didn't use it. My answer is no. I only used a portable radio before when we had a flat tire on our vehicle. 73 sticks, I'll send it back to you.
All right, I was going to ask you what your dialing prefix was, but you already answered it. Thank you for doing that. Good morning to Kevin in Bowling Green, Ohio, KF8DJQ.
Good morning, Dick. Good morning, everyone on the Brew Crew this morning. That's a lot of long answers for a short question. Put me down for no, please. And had a little setback on my magic cable yesterday, but we'll get her sorted out. KF8DJQ. Back to net.
Maybe the dog got at it. Thanks, Kevin. Robert, VK2DY.
Here, PM. It is headed for another low close to freezing, so we might get negative temperatures Celsius today. Anyway, well, of course, our system here is 000. And it actually is about 7 years older than your 911, I think. But anyway, I have used 000 on occasion for various needs, including personal needs. VK2DY. Best to know.
000 it is. I forgot who else had 000, what country that was, but it seems to be the second one here this morning. Jason, Atlanta, Georgia, K4KU, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Dick, and I believe that was Bill logging in the background there. Have a great day, everyone. I have used 911 a couple of times here in Atlanta. The interesting thing is occasionally you call 911 and get put on hold in Atlanta, which is kind of interesting when you're waiting for 911 to answer. Anyway, have a great day, everyone. This is K4KU.
That's scary. Of course, that's just saying it's very busy, and I'm sure it is there in Atlanta. Jason, thanks for being there. Richard, Grand Rapids, Michigan, KC8FMT. Good morning. KC8FMT. Richard, Grand Rapids, via the text line. More time for KC8FMT, Richard, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Are you with us? I guess not. Take some new stations. 16 past the second hour here. This is Dick, WB2JPQ, along with Bill, N2BH. New call signs, anyone, anywhere.
Kilo 4. Echo, Charlie, Romeo, Portable.
Kilo Bravo 2, Whiskey Golf Charles, mobile.
NP2GG.
Let me hold up a minute, guys. The last station, a whole bunch of key ups in here. The last station, GG or something like that, twice, please.
Yes, call sign is November Papa 2 Golf Golf NP2GG. Name is Doug.
Got you that time, Doug. Yeah, all we heard, you must have quick keyed, all we heard was GG or somebody else was on top of you. Kind of a 3 stations and about 6 people tried to call in. WGB suffix, something like that. WGB.
Yeah, Kilo Bravo 2, Whiskey Golf Charles. Kilo Bravo 2, Whiskey Golf Charles, mobile.
KB2FX. KB2FX.
Got you, Mike, KB2FX, and yeah, Kevin, and Homosassa, we got you, KB2WGC. And we got Scott, if we got the call right, looks like Orange Park, Florida, looks like you're new to the system. Scott, good morning, KK4ECR. Good morning, this is Dick, WB2JPQ, outside of Buffalo. At 18 past the hour, our question this morning is, have you ever called 911?
Oh, good morning. This is Scott, Kilo 4 Echo Charlie Romeo from Orange Park, Florida. And yes, I have called 911 a couple of times. Called once for a car accident and saw on the side of the road and called in. Thanks for taking my check-in. Everybody have a great day. KK4 ECR.
All right, Scott, you're a little bit hot coming in on YSF. You want to maybe crank that down just a little bit. Welcome to the system. I see you do have a current email address on QRZ, so you will automatically be receiving a welcome letter from the East Coast Reflector. Homosassa, Florida. Good morning, Kevin. KB2WGC.
Good morning there, Dick and Bill and the rest of the crew. And 79 degrees, light thin clouds, and expect to have a lot of heat later on. And the answer is yes, several times. See you tomorrow, KB2WGC.
Yes, you will see me tomorrow on the second shift. Thanks, Kevin. Hartford, Connecticut. Good morning, Doug. NP2GG.
For Connecticut, yes, I have dialed 911 several times in my career. I'm a physician, and in a small town, sometimes people come in my office who surely gone to the emergency room instead. And that's it from New Hartford, Connecticut. NP2GG.
Yep. morning, KB2FX.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, it was nice meeting many of you several weeks ago in Orchard Park, New York. The answer is yes. Direct dial 911 and many PSAPs. I was in the business for 25 years. Everybody have a great day. KB2FX, back to Dick.
Yeah, we had a great time, Mike. Unfortunately, it was too short. Shook a lot of hands and put a lot of faces with call signs, but never is enough time when you only have, a few short hours. Good seeing you again as well. Last on this list is Jason from Oregon, KK7ZSH.
Good morning, everybody out there in the Brew Crew land. I hope everybody's having a great morning. I have called 911 a couple of times. Once for a very obviously drunk driver, and once for a very obviously, literally, you could see smell this guy smoking pot in driving down the road in this car. I had called 911 at least twice in my life. So there you have it. 73 to all, KK7 ZSH.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Bill. For logging there, pinch hitting this morning until VH stepped in, help us out. Vicky's back, KABKY. And this is Dick, WB2JPQ, 22 past the hour. We're looking for customers. We got Bill from North Fort Myers. Who else do we have this morning? Call signs twice.
Control, this is Kilo Echo 4, Zulu Yankee Quebec, Joe and Clinton Township. Kilo Echo 4, Zulu Yankee Quebec.
Kilo Charlie 8, Kilo Juliet Oscar. Kilo Charlie 8, Kilo Juliet Oscar, mobile.
Kilo 6, Lima November India, K6 LNI.
November 1, Whiskey Echo Bravo. November 1, Whiskey Echo Bravo.
Victor Alpha 5, Echo Romeo Yankee.
November 5, Tango India, November.
Okay, Vicky did get it. Vicky left for a little while, and she came back, and she says, what'd you do with these people? They're all orderly. I said, Bill whipped everybody right into shape, I guess. Good morning to VA3ERY. Good morning to Webb, W1 or N1WEB. Our friend Scott from Memphis, Tennessee. B6LNI, Hayward, California. We got Thomas, KC8KJO. And Joel from Clinton Township, Michigan. And to start this rundown is Bill from North Fort Myers, W8WHK. Good morning.
Good morning. It's beautiful here in Southwest Florida. 77 degrees. I'm thinking, I remember calling 911 several times, but it wasn't for us. It was mainly for, we've had, in the community here, we've had a couple of people fall. They couldn't get up or they weren't responsive. And so that'd be about it. They all turned out to be fine, but it was good that we got them to the hospital. And I think my wife had a call on me, the ex-wife called on me during the COVID era because I had COVID and I was extremely dehydrated and delirious. I don't even remember what happened. Now that's scary. But other than that, I'm happy we have 911. It's really Good system. Okay, this is WHK 73. Back to you, Dick.
All right, that's finally gone. This is Vicky, K8VKY. Next up, KE4ZYQ. Joe, have you ever had to call 911?
Yeah, KE4ZYQ. Good morning, Vicky, our brew crew, and all on the frequency. And that is an interesting question because I got to meet over the last few years, a couple of years, a lot of people on ham radio just talking, not necessarily face-to-face meet. And I got to know a guy that was living with his mother, and he was a fellow ham. He would operate a couple of nets, be the net controller. And his mother got ill and older and passed away. And he was legally blind and diabetic. And he was on his radio one evening for one of the nets. After the net was over, he had a diabetic reaction. And he lived in White Lake, Michigan, not far away from me. And I just happened to be scanning the radio, and one of those times when on ham radio could save a life. I've been really praying for this guy because he's had a lot of bad things happen in his life, and I wanted to help him some way. I wish I could have won a lot of money and helped him pay for his trailer and his different things. So let me reset here. KE4ZYQ. So to make a long... he was on the floor. He had a diabetic reaction and had his microphone for his radio just about a year ago. And he was calling for help, but nobody was out there. It was later in the evening, and I happened to hear him. So I called 911, kept him on the radio. They got to the facility, took him to the ER. He had a couple heart attacks at the ER, and they saved him, and he's now in a long-term care facility. And I actually talked to him just the other day, yesterday, in fact, and keeping in touch with him. So radio can save lives, as many of us might know firsthand and others might hear about. Back to you, Vicky, and thanks for all you guys do from the brew, KE4ZYQ.
All right, thank you, Joe. Thomas, KC8KJO.
Here in Ottawa, Canada, listening live. My kids have called 911 on me a couple times due to respiratory issues that almost took me out. And 911 saved my wife's life 5 years ago. She had a stroke. My son walked in there, called 911, and they were there within seconds, if not a couple minutes, and in the hospital within the hour and in surgery, and she is still around today because of 911. 100%. Back to the net. You guys do a great job out there, and thank you for being there and keeping it up and going. Kilo Charlie 8, Kilo Juliet Oscar.
Thank you, Thomas. Let's jump down to Roy, W8ROY.
Good morning, Vicki, and everyone on the Morning Brew. Put me down for yes. I did use it one time, and thank goodness everything turned out. Everybody have a good Wednesday, and stay cool. W8ROI back to next control.
And we also got you down for next. Sorry, yes. Next up, Lancelot. Hey, Edward, California, K6LNI.
Hey, good morning, Vicky, and all the rest of the net controllers and the brew crew. No, you put me down for no, but last month, I believe it was, I listened to a station somewhere up in back east, an older gentleman who, yeah, he had his mic in his hand, and well, you could hear it all in his voice. He was calling for help, and I guess some of the stations that were nearby in his community, they all helped him out. So it can be a really great thing, especially when you can't reach the phone. You have to have the mic in your hand. So anyway, have a great day. Thank you. And this is K6LNI, back to net control.
Thank you. QI4NB, Scott, you're up next.
KY4NB, Linda Ellison Barbecues. Well, I miss Vicky and Godfather and everybody that's calling the net today and working behind the scenes. We appreciate y'all. The answer would be yes. We'd call 911 one time at work, and I work at a hospital, but it was across the street from the hospital, and it was off hospital property in the parking garage. So that's the story there. And 911 came, and then perhaps took them across the street to the ED, perhaps took them somewhere else. I don't know, kind of strange. But anyway, it's nice and hot and sunny here in Memphis, and I had a brother Randall there in Webb as well from Collierville. KY and everybody else, KY4NB, everybody have a good Wednesday. Back to net.
Thanks for stopping by, Scott. Webb, N1, WEB. Have you ever had to call 911?
Thank you, Vicki. No, I have never ever called 911, but I've called the police emergency line several times for anything that looks like isn't right, but still a non-emergency. So put me down as a no. And I'll send a good morning right back to Scott in Memphis. We're only about 15 miles away, so there we go. N1 WEB, back to the net.
Thank you. Eduardo, VA3 ERY. VA3 ERY, you still there? All right, we'll jump down to Joel, KC2 GRN.
Good morning, Vicky, and everyone else on the morning brew, KC2 GRN. No, thank goodness, I've never had the reason to call 911. So, knock on wood, hopefully that'll continue with my life. Anyway, everybody have a great day this Wednesday. KC2 GRN back to net.
Thank you, Joel. A couple more text check-ins, then we'll take some general check-ins. K1JAX, Harlan, you're up next.
You're in Ottawa, Canada, listening.
Ottawa, Canada, you're in the middle of the net. Joel, sorry, Harlan, are you still there?
On a weekly basis, I install telephone systems, and I gotta test and make sure the address is coming up right.
Thank you. KP.
And the rest of the morning brew. I have to put myself down for no, I was 911. I'm a retired New York City police officer. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. This is 82 KP back to net control.
All right, thank you very much. This is Vicky, KA-VKY. The question of the day is, have you ever called 911? And taking more check-ins, twice and slowly, please.
November 0, India 5, Foxtrot Uniform Yankees, KI5FUY.
Whiskey Delta 8, Papa India Charlie, WD8PIC.
W2KJV, W2KJV.
Kilo Alpha 5, Golf Sierra Sierra. Kilo Alpha 5, Golf Sierra Sierra.
Papa Delta 7, Juliet Papa Sierra, in and out.
5 Kilo Charlie 5, Charlie Papa Oscar. 5 Kilo Charlie 5, Charlie Papa Oscar.
Kilo Echo 2 Echo Mike, KE2EM, in and out.
Echo 2.
Kilo 4 EMM. Kilo Romeo 4, Echo Mike Mike, in and out.
November 8, Mike Juliet, November, N8 MJN, mobile.
Mike Alpha Mobile, KA1, DMA Mobile, in and out.
Oscar Golf Mobile, and 5 OZG Mobile.
KS5 ITG, Kilo Foxtrot 5, India Tango Golf. I will be in and out.
KF5, FID, in and out.
Kilo 5, 8, Echo Golf Oscar.
All right, we'll hold up there. We've got KF8 EGO, KF5 FID, KF5 ITG, N5 OZG, W5 MHG, KA1 DMA, N8 MJN, KR4 EMM, KE2 EM, KC5 CPO, K5 YNU, PPD JPS, KA5 GSS, W2 KJV, KC2 JPQ, WD8 PIC, and KI5 FUY. We'll jump down to our mobiles, Martian, N8 MJN.
Hey, good morning, Vicky and everybody on the brew. I didn't catch the question. I just started the truck, so just heard people checking in. If you can give me the question, I'll gladly answer it.
Of course, have you ever had to call 911?
Thankfully, I have not. I don't recall ever calling 911, and hopefully never have to. but glad it's there and appreciate all those who rushed to help. With that, I'll say 73. Everybody have a great week, and send it back to net control. And 8M Jan.
Thank you, Marcia. Next up, Joe, N50ZG. Try again, N50ZG.
I'm taking net control, and I'm in 1 in net. Name is Joe, Julian Oscar, down in Greater Orleans area. Call sign is November 5, Oscar Zulu Go, Mobile. And we're just waiting for, I guess, the rain to come from that tropical depression or whatever it is out there. This is M5 OZG Mobile.
Thank you, Joe. Next up, KI5FUI Richard. Have you ever had to call 911?
KI5FUI. Yeah, I had to call 911 on several occasions for house fires and auto accidents with injuries. But I think they all made it. So way to jump in there, Vicki. Just want to say God bless all our first responders, and back to net.
Thank you very much. Bob, WD8PIC.
No, I have not. Oops, sorry. However, it's been called for me just recently. I have epilepsy, and sugar can cause it. And a friend of mine put way too much sugar in a bowl of oatmeal, and I didn't know it. I mean, I knew there was sugar in there, but I didn't know there was that much, or I wouldn't have eaten as much of it as I did. And you know the rest. So I ended up in emergency flour. Anyway, waiting for the thunderstorms whenever they occur today. Back to net, WD8PIC.
Just not to throw too many people off when you say you ended up in emergency flour. Flour's name of a hospital. Next up, Frank, KC2, JPQ.
Good morning, Vicki, and everybody on the brew. Yes, I have called 911, and everybody have a great day. I'll send it back to the net, KC2 JPQ.
Thank you, Frank. And next up, W2KJV. Tony, have you ever had to call 911?
Good morning, Vicki. Good morning, everyone on the Morning Brew. No, I have not. I'm thankful that I haven't. Back to you, Vicki. W2KJV.
Thank you, Tony. And you can check out what Tony does on our YouTube. He puts together all the pictures that you guys send in. Next up, Shane, KA5GSS.
Good morning, Vicki. This is KX5GSS. Yeah, I've had to call 911 a time or two, mainly for somebody needing assistance, but yeah, just a couple times. Hope everybody has a great day. KX5GSS, back to net control.
Thank you, Shane. Florin, K5YNU.
Good morning, Vicki, and everyone on the Morning Brew crew. Yes, I have a few times had to call 911, but all was well. Thank you, net control, everyone. Have a blessed day. K5YNU Mobile.
Thanks, Lauren. And David, KC5 CPO.
Good morning, Vicki and everyone on the Brew Crew. My name is actually Dave, so I go by. So, yes, I've called 911 on multiple occasions, and it's great to have that service available. So, everyone have a blessed day, and thanks for taking my check-in, KC5 CPO.
Thank you. David's changed, so now everybody will call you Dave. This is Vicky, K8, VKY. Up next, Mark, W5, MHG. Have you ever had to call 911?
Oh, good morning, Vicky, W5, MHG. Gracie says, bow wow, yippee-yi-yay. She doesn't call because of her paws, and we've had to call on several occasions. Thanks so much for putting up with us. We do appreciate it, and we love that text line, W5, MHG. From the land of enchantment, 7-3.
You know, I'd be very surprised if there wasn't some kind of mechanism that allowed dogs to call 911 for service dogs. Next up, David, KF5FID.
This is KF5FID. Yes, I have a couple times, one on myself and then for a drunk driver, and that was it.
Sounds like plenty, though. Chris, KF8EGO.
Yeah, I've called 911 once or twice for car accidents I've seen when I'm on the highway. Hope everyone has a great day, and back to them.
Thank you, Chris. And I won't even make a crack about Ohio drivers. Mike, KD2WRJ.
Morning, Vicky, and good morning to the Brew Crew. Yes, I have had to call 911 a couple times, and it was very tough situation. But yeah, I've had to call. KD2, WRJ, back to the net.
Thank you, Mike. And up next, Chuck, W2,
Good morning, Vicky, and the rest of the Brew Crew. I've had to dial 911 a few times. I think the last time was like 10 years ago when I was having a heart attack, so it was for myself. But thank God it was there. Anyway, 73, everyone. Back to net. W2EM.
And we're glad you're still here. Charles, KD2YUI.
Good morning, Vicky, and good morning, everybody listening on to the Brew. Yeah, put me down in the yes category. Have had to call. 73L, back to net control, K2YUY, clear.
Next up, Carlos, N1CBM.
Morning, everybody else. And yes, I have had the need to call 911 previously. Hopefully it was not too bad. Back to you, Vicky, and 1CBM.
Thank you, Carlos. And next up, Joe, KO4FRR.
Good morning, Vicky, and the Morning Brew. This is Joe, KO4FR. Unfortunately, I had. I'll talk to you guys in the Zoom room. Take care.
Thank you, Joe. This is Vicky, K8VKY. We got about 10 minutes left. How about if we do some in and outs? Not too fast, please.
Kilo Oscar 4, Foxtrot, Bravo Mike. Kilo Oscar 4, Foxtrot, Bravo Mike. Good morning. In and out. Good morning, N3QMH. That's N3QMH. Good morning.
Delta Whiskey 3, Hotel Lima India.
Kilo Charlie 0, Golf, Alpha, Quebec. In and out.
Delta Whiskey 3, Hotel Lima India.
Kilo Quebec 4, Union Lima Papa, KQ4 ULP. In and out.
KE8ZRI, KE8ZRI, Zulu Romeo India.
Delta Whiskey 3, Hotel Lima India. Delta Whiskey 3, Hotel Lima India.
Charlie 0.
Kilo November 4, Two-Tone Blue. KN4, TTP. In and out.
Quebec. In and out.
Alpha Bravo 8, Mike Delta. In and out.
All right, I know there were two in there I missed, and they both ended in Q. Maybe they were one and the same. Can you come again, please? Was there somebody ending in Alpha Quebec?
Kilo Charlie 0, Golf, Alpha, Quebec. Kilo Charlie 0, Golf, Alpha, Quebec.
All right, we got KO4 FBM, N3 QMH, DW3 HLI, KQ4 HEF, KC0 GAQ, KQ4 ULP, KE8 ZRI, KN4 TPB, AB8 MD, and I know there were still a few I missed in there. Can you come again, please?
KF8, CWF, Kilo, Foxtrot 8, Charlie, Whiskey, Foxtrot, in and out.
R4, COH, Kilo, Romeo 4, Charlie, Oscar Hotel. No traffic, Jacksonville, North Carolina, in and out.
Hotel Zulu, N4 kilohertz, in and out. N5 RTC, in and out.
RLE, get out.
November 5, Charlie, Lima, Echo, N5 CLE. Good morning, in and out.
All right. We also had N4 KHG, N5 RTC, N5 CLE, and sounded like maybe 3 RLE.
Romeo, Lima, Echo, Buffalo, New York.
Charlie 1, Sierra Delta Echo, area traffic, in and out.
Okay, I got KC2 RLE. You got a few minutes left. Anybody else? If you want to stick around or be in and out, twice as slowly, please.
Kilo, Foxtrot 8,
CNK, in and out.
Thank you.
Sierra Delta Romeo, Echo 8, Sierra Delta Romeo, in and out.
All right, we got KE8 SDR in and out. DW3 HHF. KF8 CNK in and out. And there was somebody, the suffix was RPS. Can you come back again, please? Was there an RPS? All right, we'll jump to Joseph, DW3 HHF. Have you ever had to call 911? All right, we'll assume he's in and out. We got about 3 more minutes. Taking more check-ins twice as slowly.
Ryan Mobile.
N5GGW, N5GGW. Good morning, in and out.
Delta Whiskey 3, Hotel Lima India. Check back.
D2, DLP, Kilo Delta 2, Lima Papa, in and out.
All right, we had KD2 TLP and 5GGW both in and out. And we also had DW3 HLI coming back in. DW3 HLI.
Yourself, this is Delta Whiskey 3, Hotel Lima India. My name is Henry from the Philippines. Good morning, Vicky. Good evening from the Philippines. No, I have not used 911 and neither use a radio to call emergency. Back to you, Vicky.
All right, thank you, honey. This is Vicky, K8 VKY. Tonight, 8 o'clock, Ask an Elmer in the Zoom room. You can get there from the website at eastcoastreflector.com. Returning the reflector. Sorry, I thought it was Thursday. Tonight's open mic night. But you're still welcome to stop by the Zoom room. Returning the reflector back to normal use.
We're in Ottawa. Have a nice day, all you guys, and thanks to the net controller, V3NCO, Roger in Ottawa.
Great day, Vicky. KD8VKY. KEAUE.
Thank you, Dan. K8VKY.